Hey, hey, hey. It is Friday. That's the worthiness training day. That's right. 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Come join me for training on how to feel worthy, how to be worthy, how to be worthy of everything that you receive. Good morning, Jake, AJ, Colleen. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's see, Team David Meltzer pinning up. If you have not joined us on a Friday, all you got to do is email me. Not that one. All you have to do is email me at david@dmeltzer.com or text me. It's right there, pinned below. 949-298-2905, 949-298-2905. If you've missed any of the trainings we've done, from the pitching to the manifestation to the ultimate ego guide to how to sell, toughness and telephone, all the different trainings for over 20 years, go to Spotify. It's featured there. Go to Entrepreneur. Go to the playbook. You can get all the replays, or email me, david@dmeltzer.com, to get the exercises, guides, and books for free. All for free. Join me, learn. Andrew, good to see you. Let's get these questions rolling. It is Friday. We're going to have a lot of good questions today. Do you have any tricks for time management? They are not tricks. They're disciplines. Yes, and one is being a student in my calendar. Also, one is looking for 4 minutes. Look for 4 minutes in everything you do. 4 minutes, if you can save every day 4 minutes, guess how much time that is in a year? 24 hours of productivity. That's 3 full days of productivity you can spend with your family. You can make money. You can do whatever you want with your vacation. Find 4 minutes a day. Use and be a student of your calendar with the lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. You can and you will be happy. Here we go. Is there a certain training I should watch first? You should read my book first, or we have a training, video training course for free, both for free. That's where I would start to get a good background on what we're doing, but it doesn't matter. Telephone and toughness training, you don't have to have any training before that. But if you want to get a good broad basis, read my book, Connected to Goodness, and go ahead and take the course that I have for free. Get you started, get you restarted, get you up, get you back up, and I will take you there through inspiration, strategy, discipline, and awareness. Which mentors have had the biggest impact on you? Dead and alive: Napoleon Hill, Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Blaine Bartlett, so many different. Michael Bosworth, Solution Selling, Lou Lombardi, Coach Weedoff, just so many different people, and just loving all of them and grateful for them. What do you think of Einstein, Disney, Carl Fisher? The list will go on. What do you think about the new Nobel Prize winning? What do I think about the news Nobel? I don't know about it, but maybe you can send me some information on it, david@dmeltzer.com. I have not seen that. I apologize. Mike Mooseberger? What's that, Jake? Is he coming on, or is he here? Can you be my life coach or mentor? Yes, email me if you want me to mentor you. I have free mentoring. I have group mentoring. I have one-on-one mentoring. Just reach out, whatever is best for you. david@dmeltzer.com. Would love to be of service. I live for it. What's your favorite lesson from Wayne Dyer? Rule number 6, don't take yourself so seriously. That's actually from Xander's, but Wayne does it. Or change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Another one of those. Excellent one. With no following, would you create a podcast or a YouTube channel? Absolutely, Jeff. No place like the present to start. Build a brand, build a community, find your frequency, strengthen that frequency, find the spectrum and channels for that frequency, and clear the message of that frequency. It's not what you say, it's what they hear. It only comes with practice, consistent, persistent behavior. With any type of content that you want to do, start today, no matter who you are. Build that community with the 4.4 billion people and growing. You hear me? Let's make it happen. Let's do it. Speaking of which, I've been working with this guy to build his community, and he is absolutely killing it. We're going to bring him on. I don't see him in here. Jakey Bakey says he's here, but I don't see him. Sean, if you're here, where'd you go? Because I don't see it in there. So make a request. Joseph, good to see you. I'll take another question as well. Sorry. Here we go. All right, slow down, Dave. Your fat fingers are killing it. We're going to go live with Sean Walchef, at Cali Comfort Barbecue. There he is, the digital hospitality genius, the advocate for all who want to deliver alcohol in their barbecues.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes. How you doing, Dave?
Can you tell how I'm doing? I am so fired up. It's Friday. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I want to start with abundance with you. I want you to tell me about the abundance of opportunity, and I'm going to use two case studies. I'm going to start with one story. I want you to talk about the company Peloton and the company Slack. But first, we're going to start with Peloton. Peloton came into my life the way it's probably come into so many people's lives. You have a friend that has it. You hear that they have it. They love it. You see somebody post about it on social. You convince your wife that we should buy it. You make the purchase. Their digital hospitality was absolutely incredible. I mean, this company just did a phenomenal job. I purchased, this bike within 15 minutes on my cell phone. It was delivered a couple weeks later. This was all during coronavirus. I get on the bike. I'm riding in Paris on one of their virtual programs. So I'm riding in Paris, and I remember it brings me back to when I was traveling with my grandfather, and he took me to Paris, and the first place he wanted to take me was the Luxembourg Gardens. Beautiful gardens, but it's not the place that you think of when you go to Paris. But when I see that, I realize how strong of a media brand they are creating, a global media brand that they're creating. Tell me about Peloton and the abundance of opportunity that they have to continue to tap into, become a travel channel. They're already a hardware company. They're already a software company. They're already a fitness company, lifestyle company. Talk about the media side.
Sure. Well, you and I are both from San Diego. And one of my mentors is a guy named Dr. Jacobs. And he was CEO of Qualcomm, founder of Qualcomm, small company in San Diego that may have changed the world with CDMA and dual chip technology. And I was blessed to run the world's first smartphone in the world, a Windows C device, a Samsung manufactured device, going through all types of testing with LA Cellular, which would later be Verizon, in a variety in 1999. And I'm touring the facility with Dr. Jacobs. And he looks at me as we're looking at all this IP. He has incredible intellectual property that goes beyond dual chip, load, CDMA. And he looks at me and says, "Do you know what business I'm in?" And I said, "Yeah, you're in the chip business. You're in the telephony chip business, and you're the leader of it. And, I'm here to learn." And he said, "Nah." He said, "I own the customer. I own the customer because I sell through the customer, not to the customer. I own the customer because I create a community with my brand, with my name stuck on the San Diego Stadium, with my name sitting here on the biggest freeway, most crowded freeway in Southern California. I'm sitting here building a community because I sell through my community to others. And once I own the customer, I can sell them whatever I want. I could be a media company, which they were. They had Brew. I could be a hardware company. I could be a software company. I could be a carrier myself. I could be whatever I want to be, a sports and entertainment content provider. All of the things, believe it or not, that content in Qualcomm is involved with today, because they built a community, sold through the customer, and owned the customer. And that's what Peloton has done. Peloton has sold through you, because they had someone that wasn't paid by them sell you on the idea, and then they managed the expectations adequately, if not better than you expected, in order to allow you to be empowered to sell through you to others as well, where you and I, both using Peloton, are on my IG Live, where thousands and thousands of people will now go, "Oh my gosh, Peloton is as good as everyone says. I got to go get one too." Plus, it's easy to get. Sean explained how easy he ordered from his phone. It was there in 2 weeks during COVID, by the way, when everyone else has a shortage of equipment for exercise and fitness. And then you also had the emotional attachment. They sold through you because you had an experience in Paris that reminded you or took you back to another. And while all this is going on, you're getting healthier.
Yes.
So, yes, they are an exact example of what everyone should be trying to do, no matter what size of community you want to sell through. And what you want to sell through to them does not have to be CDMA chips. It doesn't have to be a media company. It could simply be to empower others to be happy. It could have no other purpose, but community, ironically, is what we all should be building, and we should be selling through each other, reminding each other that we should appreciate the connection, the similarities, how we are all the same. And then more importantly, as we feel confident and secure in that connection in the community, we can appreciate our differences. And that's what's missing today. That's what we need to do. And that's what companies like Peloton, who sees the world with a Meltzer kaleidoscope of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude of more than enough. There's more than enough of everything for everyone. And that's why they'll continually grow and be a media giant moving forward with their community.
Yeah, I listened to Guy Raz's podcast, How I Built This, and he had the CEO of Peloton on, and he was discussing geographical expansion, which I had never heard the term, but it was less than it was physical and digital, which is digital hospitality, which is why I was fascinated with it. But nonetheless, it's so hard for us to comprehend when you have Peloton, a company that can actually start having user-generated content. So I go on there doing these scenic rides, and it inspires me to go, well, why aren't there scenic rides in San Diego that are celebrating San Diego for the community? This, I don't know how many riders they have, but it's got to be millions of riders that they could see, the San Diego coastline that would actually be paid for by the San Diego Tourism Authority. I mean, that's the incredible opportunity that exists, and it's hard to wrap my head around.
Yeah, well, you can't think or ask big enough, dude. So think and ask bigger. Don't limit yourself. Know that you're just here for an instant between limitlessness and infinity. So when you find in a circumstance where you are limiting yourself and feel, wow, I can't grasp this, push yourself to think bigger and ask bigger, and you'll get there.
And then the next case study would be Slack. So Slack is an internal communication channel you're familiar with.
Yep.
Every tech company. Do you guys use Slack at Meltzer?
We don't, but I have used it. So
you have used it?
A lot of our partners use it, of course.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of the more that I dove into Slack and started asking why aren't restaurants using it, even Slack couldn't give me case studies. I had to go through, Facebook forums to really figure it out. But it's just fascinating to see how powerful the tool is that we're using now. Slack, we've integrated into our restaurant, into our media company, and it's just another form. It's another tool that we can use to really achieve the goals that we want to achieve. What are your ideas? What are your thoughts about when tech companies partner with the little guy, the small business owner, somebody like me that they haven't tapped into a restaurant or the restaurant industry or the bar industry to say, oh yeah, well, maybe they would adopt it? What do you think are the opportunities when they actually do tap into us and start to build the platform for us?
So what happens is called acceleration, aggregation, and compound interest. Obviously, it's a lot easier to scale when you start with the Fortune 10, Fortune 100, Fortune 500. But as you have a solution that's more ubiquitous and capabilities that they have within the context of large organizations building for business units, it's then applicable to segmentation of aggregation and compound interest within a context of small businesses in retail, small businesses in an industry, career, a business, and those specifics then can be customized and led by companies like yours to channel partner with so that they can have great advice and input on how best to customize what exists today. A lot of bigger solutions are customized, and two things either happen. That individual goes to the larger company and gives them their input and partners to build some sort of license, solution, a module, let's say, or which happens a lot of times is I have a lot of entrepreneurs that come on here on office hours on the playbook. They see a need in the market. And so they just go ahead and build it, and they use some sort of API from Slack or something similar to if they can rebuild it themselves. And they themselves go ahead and cannibalize the small business market, aggregate it, accelerate it, and receive the compound interest because the market size is so big and it scales so well. So those are usually the two mechanisms that people use within that to accelerate and grow. But you're right on track. If Slack is not used in an industry, you know that Slack's applicable, apply it, figure out to work with them or build your own of why it's such a great solution, which has a strong ROI. So you can ask people, can you see any reason you won't want to move forward?
And last question, Playbook is now on the Mightier 1090, which is an AM signal that has been resurrected that has been resurrected thanks to the hard work of Scott Kaplan and many countless others. You and I are diehard sports fans here in Southern California, San Diego specifically. Great friends network. To hear you and Marshall Falk yesterday driving back from a meeting on my way back to East Lake, I got to hear Meltzer and Marshall Falk. It was amazing. Why are you going to AM radio?
I go to radio print. I'll go to hieroglyphics if I have to. I will. And I think that people are foolish. I had this conversation with Jen Gottlieb. Look, I believe in the stage theory. All you're doing is increasing. Look, from Baja, Mexico, all the way to Ventura, the mightier 1090, that frequency and that spectrum is there. All the great sports fans, all the great Marshall Falk fans, all the great David Meltzer fans from Southern California, they're there. And guess what? I lose nothing by building that audience and community, capturing it, modifying it, and amplifying it on all my platforms like IG Live. Now everybody knows the Mightier 1090 and the Scott Kaplan Show and the Playbook all are on the Mightier 1090. And we're going to go ahead and use some of that again all over LinkedIn and Facebook and TikTok and Reel and Instagram, everywhere I can. So if you're not putting things from hieroglyphics, from the Sanskrit, to the radio print TV, you're making a big mistake. And I've taught you that. I don't care if it's a billboard. I'll buy a billboard and make sure that I build enough content off of that sucker to reach millions of people, millions beyond the 405 or 5 freeway, which the Meltzer billboard sits on. It wouldn't matter. It's all about what Shakespeare said. The whole world is your stage. You got to utilize all the stage, not just the digital sides of the stage. You can digitize any of the stage. So make sure you're using all of the stage.
So from hieroglyphics to emojis. That's how we're gonna roll.
You got
All
it,
right.
man.
David,
Capture,
you're amazing.
modify, amplify, perpetuate. You are one of my greatest mentees, and I love you, and I love your food almost as much as I love you.
Got nothing but love for you and your entire team. They're working on unbelievable. I'm so impressed with everything they're doing, from Colleen to Jake. I mean, we love you guys. You guys are phenomenal. Keep leading the way.
A people search for A people. B people search for C people. I just learned that today. You're an A person searching for A people. So is Jake and Colleen. And Joseph, you're part of my team too. Thanks for joining me. Sean, where can people find you, brother?
CaliBBQ.media, or just Google Cali BBQ and see what comes up.
All right, hang on. You got to watch me and Evan get off right now because my boy Evan Carmichael's here. He's a legend as well. So we'll put him on. Thank you, Sean.
All right, my friend. I'm here.
He's awesome. All right. You got Evan on as well. I'm moving and grooving on Friday. It's a tight schedule because I got training today, 11 a.m. Pacific, on worthiness. Talk about worthiness. Am I worthy of Evan Carmichael on a Friday? Shabbat shalom, my brother.
Let's go. The Meltzer Mensch is in the house. I'm pumped, dude.
Dude, you are incredible. I got to start here with one thing. Now, oh, I got your book too. That is amazing. All three sitting right there. And we got Game Time Decision Making. Where your book's up here somewhere on my table. I got so much stuff. Anyway, how's the book doing?
Good. We're very honest. So honest, pull back the curtain. We're trying to fill the funnel, like the average car, the direct response stuff. I'm learning and I'm way over my head and trying to get great at. I feel like a genius and an idiot at the same time. Where YouTube, we are crushing it right now. It's crazy. But the direct response stuff, I'm learning and feel like a total idiot. So we're working it. It's getting there.
Yeah, well, that's what it's about. And I feel the same way on my YouTube itself. One of the most frustrating things about my platform is that there's heroes like you out there, Human, you, a bunch of really big YouTube people that are contributors and consumers of my content. And you're always disappointed in me because you're like, you should be so much bigger. Exactly. And I just, Justin, who you have worked with as well. And I want to talk about YouTube for a second because, there's the side of YouTube that it takes time to build the community, a real community. And then I'm not an entertainer. This is the problem I have on TikTok too. I'm not an entertainer. I'm an inspirer, right? I'm an educator. And, it's a different audience. I could do pranks and get millions of people to subscribe to the pranks that I do. I could dance and mock songs and take my shirt off and more people would watch my TikToks. But that's not what I'm looking for. How does someone like me or Bob Proctor or Les Brown or Sharon Lecter utilize YouTube? You know, and I've been growing. I mean, thanks to you and your great advice, right? I mean, I never thought I'd have thousands and thousands of subscribers on YouTube, but it's a different game. And I'm really trying to figure out, how does people in different genres that didn't start in 2011, you know, continually exponentially get more people to be inspired on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, there's thought leadership is huge on YouTube. You don't have to be, I'm not funny. Dude,
You are funny. You're making a mistake.
I'm not entertaining. I'm an introvert, you know, shy dude just on a mission to try to change lives. Most of the people who have bigger channels in entrepreneur thought leadership aren't super entertaining either. I mean, some of them have character and personality, but you've got just as much character and personality. Dude, I've seen your Friday trainings when you just pop off on people. Like, you have moments where you're just in the zone and delivering the heat. Like, those are great. I don't know if you're repurposing those things, but those are great moments of content for sure. And I think the coaching too. I know you've put some of the coaching stuff up on the channel. I think that's still a huge hole in thought leadership. People don't do enough coaching because a lot of times they're afraid of they're afraid of being put on the spot because they don't know necessarily how to react. But your strength is you can react to anything. You'll just flow with it and have great answers to help people, you know, move.
So because we have that in common, right? There's thought leadership where people, you know, are motivational, and I totally understand. They have, you know, great segmented thoughts that are based on the segmentation that they've learned, and they know how to deliver it to touch people emotionally, to get them up, get them back up. But I know my superpower is that I've paid a shitload of dummy tag. You know, I've been an entrepreneur since I've been 5 years old. I'm 52 years old. I've been in technology since I've been 24 years old. I know a side of technology, search engine technology, XML, phone, internet, that most people don't understand. And I'm blessed to have young people that for at least the last, 4 years have been teaching me the digital side of things, which has given me the capability that I can handle because of all the industries I worked in. I mean, how many people have a $3.4 billion exit in 95 in literally the internet business, raised hundreds of millions of dollars in the transcoding business, right? Which is literally middleware, then run literally the company that had the very first smartphone, then the most notable sports agency in the world, then work in one of the most notable marketing and media companies in the world in sports and entertainment and charity, right? So the context that I can draw from to answer questions and help people is probably broader with an expertise. You know, you talk about being master of none. I have great situational knowledge. In other words, I've made a ton of mistakes in each of those places. I have a lot of dummy text to share with people, and my knowledge base for people who are doing what we do is probably deeper and broader than most. And I try to leverage that to build a brand and help more people. What's the best advice you would give me, knowing what my superpowers are?
Yeah, I mean, I think your depth of expertise is definitely great. I think your real superpower is actually not just the expertise, but the ability to feel people. Like, you feel people.
I cry.
Yeah, well, but you cry, but you hold the space and you kind of give them what they need. And sometimes it's the hug and the emotion. And sometimes it's like Meltzer can get angry too. And Meltzer can get in your face too if you're not doing the thing you need to be doing. And so I think that's your superpower, is like the range of emotion, and to be able to like not just show up how you want to show up each time, but you're showing up how the person needs you to show up to help them get the result that they need. So that's crazy. That's what most people can't do. They just operate at like 1 degree and they just stay there. Yeah, one frequency, right? And they're always yelling at you, or they're always crying with you, or they're always right. And there's not that big a message difference between an Oprah Winfrey and an Eric Thomas. It's just Oprah's always going to hug you, and Eric is always going to yell at you, right?
Yeah.
But Dave could like do whatever you need in the moment, right? So right. I think more of the aha moments, like I think where you could really shine is the having people come on who've got issues that you can like quickly dissect them because of the knowledge, but because you're feeling them, and get their eyes to bug out to say, holy cow, I didn't think that was possible. And maybe you're both crying together on the call, or maybe you're both rah, you're yelling at them or whatever. But to get that person, get the aha moment, because when people watch that, they get the aha moment as well. It's like, who's this Dave Meltzer guy? I gotta dive deeper into his world.
Which is happening, and thanks to mentors like you with great situational knowledge in this space. One of the things that frustrates me is that even when I started and we met, so many people are like, oh, you're too late to this game. And I'm a huge proponent that I don't think people can fathom how early we still are. That, there's so many young people, they don't have the perspective. I'm on a 20-year plan. When I started, I'm on a 20-year plan, and I know how exponential growth, compound interest, and aggregation works, acceleration works. And so I see things deeper and differently. Do you think, you've been in this game a long time, do you think it's too late for someone to start today? And what do you think the next 10 years holds as far as the audience and community building capabilities that anybody has that has rich, deep, quality content?
Yeah, I think in general, the answer is always go. The answer is always do for anything, right? Like somebody asked me yesterday on my IG DMs, like, hey, I'm 26. Is it too late to start on YouTube? Am I too old to start on YouTube? Like, I started when I was 29. You know what I mean? You could do 3 years of nothing and still get started the way I did. People just, they're looking for the no's. They want to find all the reasons why they can't win just because they're afraid, instead of just going off and creating and making. So whether that's YouTube or anything else that's in your head, specifically in thought leadership on YouTube, because that's where I'm more an expert on, more than music videos or pranks or anything else. I think there's still so much room for opportunity. The people who have won, there's still only a handful. There's only a handful of thought leadership channels that have 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
There's only a handful. And there's a lot of up and coming and wannabe people who also don't have the depth of knowledge, who are, a lot of people trying to make the jump from Instagram to YouTube are having a hard time, because they can make a 40-second Instagram video, but they can't make a 15-minute YouTube video. They can't go deep enough.
Yeah.
They can talk in 40-second quotes, which is great, but they can't make a 15-minute or 60-minute or whatever YouTube video. They can't handle it. And let alone coaching, where now you have to react in real time to something coming up. So I think there's still a ton of opportunity. I think looking at guys like Gary and Grant, people are now looking at them and saying, oh, if they could do it, I could do it. I got more knowledge than them, so I'm going to go put out my content. And I think there's going to be this big second wave of people who are coming through. So it's still super early. It's super early. Even the idea that a businessman like you would then share content beyond just like writing books. This is what everybody else used to do. Like you have your success, and then you write your biography, and then you move on to charitable work and foundations and whatever. The idea that you get in front of a camera and make videos every day is still a new concept for people who look like you, have had your success, and quite frankly don't even want to put in the amount of work and hustle you put in to actually try to give back and create content when you don't need to. You get it. You don't need to, but it's just the actual drive and desire to serve and help and leave an impact and hit the 1,000 people who will impact 1,000 people, and all of that is great. And so if you've got the knowledge, then for sure, like it's still super new for thought leadership content. And you're in that space, and you do a ton of lists, right? I get your lists all the time, and ranking people and I love them because it gives me focus in on other people that have great content and how I can learn, how I can share, how I can fulfill my desire that I must be what I can be. But for you, who do you listen to most? Like, I know you do the list, but like, where do you gather your inspiration from, your thought leadership from? For me, it's guys like Wayne Dyer, Course in Miracles, Napoleon Hill. I have some of the legends like Bob Proctor, Les Brown, Sharon Lecter, Blaine Bartlett. I have people on the digital media side like Gary Vaynerchuk and you, and even Human, because I think there's an area that nobody has been able to figure out, which I'm interested in, is how do I get an audience from entertainment? Meaning, what if I was able to, run because I don't do this, but the people that do the giveaways and get the general mass
that is just interested in their own, their own feed. But can I take a mass application or entertainment, something funny, viral that I could do? And what would be the conversion over to the deep ambassador that I'm looking for? And that's an interesting thing I'm trying to look at.
It sucks.
Yeah.
The conversion sucks. There's a friend of mine who was in the YouTube space too, who's got maybe 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he posted, like, you got to get on TikTok. I just made this video and I got 1 million views on TikTok. I was like, really? What did he post on TikTok? And he's a pretty entertaining guy. And all of his YouTube stuff got a couple thousand views or whatever. But then the one that blew up was about like a fart cushion or something.
Right.
It's like, okay, well,
my favorite TikTok example, this is true story. I took the same video on Instagram and TikTok about money doesn't disappear. And the video is about perceived value, because perceived value disappears, but real value doesn't, right? Knowing real value of what something will buy or sell for never disappears. The perceived value does. And if you understand the margins of millionaires, I'm trying to tell people to extract the emotion and look for the quantitative reasons, impacts, capability, the synergies, and supplementary interests in those so you can make money. Right. And you and I actually got to do our first investment together into a woman's esport deal, which Queens is going to be incredible. We got even more big news. But to that point, when I put it on TikTok, it was my #1 viewed TikTok, but because everyone didn't understand it and they were just reaming me going, what do you mean? I lose money all the time. Right. And they missed the point where it's one of my best viewed Instagram videos. And everyone was like, this is genius. Oh my God, thank you so much for teaching me this. Everyone was like, you're an idiot on TikTok, but I was a genius on Instagram. So that audience, it's really interesting. I don't think we have the time yet to transfer. The only thing we can do is plant seeds under trees that I may never sit under, but I think by me doing TikTok videos, me being me, not changing it, I'm planting seeds that someday that kid who says Dave Meltzer's an idiot is going to lose a house or buy a car that he doesn't need to impress someone he doesn't like. And something in the back of his brain is going to go like, what was the name of that guy that told me money doesn't disappear? Oh, I get what he means now about perceived value.
There's a guy who blew up on Twitch recently. I forget his name, but he's a psychologist. And he basically, Twitch is usually gaming, right? It's like streaming, gaming. His stream is a talk show of him being a psychologist for streamers.
That's cool.
So the streamers come on and they're talking about burnout and how to deal with all the hate that's happening in the Twitch chat and and he's coaching them and advising them, and it blew up. Like, that's what you could do.
That's a great idea. I could brand market and entrepreneur advice. I could mentor and have a Twitch channel. I hope Justin's watching. What's interesting about Twitch? Something really cool happened in my world yesterday on Twitch. More people watched, I forget what the streamer's name was, the Thursday night game, because Amazon owns the right to Thursday Night Football. More people watched the game with the streamer than watched it on TV.
Are we back? We're back. You're in the field. You're an investor. Like, this isn't, Queens is not your first rodeo in esports. And so you may not know all the mechanics of the games they're playing. That doesn't matter. But you could coach them and give them life and entrepreneur business advice, because all of the streamers on Queens and your other investments, they're their own entrepreneur as well, and they don't know what they're doing. For a lot of them, it's their first business, and that's a good overlap of audiences to then see that person talking business and not just something funny on stream. I think you could really crush it in that, and that's hot and trending, and gaming is not going anywhere but up. Whether that's a Twitch channel or again, YouTube videos, like you have your gamer series on YouTube, or part of TikTok, and it's great to give Justin even more work.
That's why he's probably not on here. He's supposed to be on here watching me. He's probably not on here. He's driving somewhere. Blaine, take a note. I see Blaine's on here. Blaine, take a note of this. Don't let us forget this. This is a great coaching by Evan Carmichael. This is what you get on his YouTube, his Twitch. This is what Evan does. He has the clarity to tell you, look, this is what you do. This is how we can be successful. And he takes nothing for it. That's what you and I both have in common. You have changed my whole brand in my life with all the great advice. And your book, as well. By the way, where can people find the book?
Built to Serve. If you want an autograph copy, you can get it from my website, evancarmichael.com. Otherwise, Amazon, wherever you buy books, it's there. Yeah.
Built to Serve. Last thing with Built to Serve, what's the main takeaway that people should get when they read Built to Serve? What was your purpose and passion behind it?
So the idea is humans are built to serve. That if you're not happy, it's because you're not serving. And that fundamentally people are good. If you see somebody doing something that's not good, it's not because they're a bad person, they're just in a lot of pain. And chances are when we've been in pain, we haven't always done the things we're most proud of either. So people are good and we're built to serve. So if you're not happy, you're not serving. Some of us have a big mission. You and I want to change the world, have a huge impact. Other people, like my wife, doesn't have a giant mission, but she's the glue for our family and just serves the 25 kind of closest people to her. But either way,
excuse me though, if my wife reads your book, can I teach her to be built to serve me?
Your wife does a lot to support and serve you, Dave.
I know, I'm kidding. Jill Awesome is awesome. My wife is Jill Awesome, Julie plus awesome. But I couldn't resist that joke. She's gonna kill me for it, but
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the idea is if you're not happy right now, it's because you're not serving. And so then, whom do you serve? How do you serve? And then how do you turn it into a business so you can get paid to do it and serve more instead of just serving on the part-time evenings and weekends and still working some job that you hate, right? I think just changing the narrative around money as well, that money is super important. It can't be number one. It's not number one, but it's got to be in your top 5. Otherwise, you'll never build a business.
I agree. Health is number 1 for sure. Family number 2 for me. Activity I get paid for number 3, and time is number 4. That's an Evan Carmichael list. You got to check him out. It's easy at Evan Carmichael on YouTube. He is a mentor to so many people. He is built to serve. Check out his book. Get a signed copy. I have one, and it's in my collector's edition. So, dude, anything I can do for you, all you got to do is ask. I'm so glad we're in a deal together with Queens. We're going to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Thank you. When you see the Meltzer Twitch channel blow up because I'm teaching people marketing, branding, and agentry on Twitch, you can tell everybody I'll be selling. And thanks to Evan Carmichael, I finally did it. So thank you so much, my friend.
Love you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Love you. Talk to you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao. He's awesome. I'm sure he has millions of subscribers, so I'm sure you all know him. But if you don't, at Evan Carmichael, he's Steven's mentor, Steven Smith's mentor, my mentor, and we co-mentor each other. But you can tell, just a great guy. He is built to serve. He lives and walks the walk. Queens is an esport deal that we have, some big players in it, and I'm also a founding investor in Overactive Media. Esports is incredible. I think I'm gonna start the Meltzer Twitch coaching channel for esports stars and people in esports. So let me know your thoughts on that. I'm happy to apply years and years of knowledge of how to brand, market, agent, license, endorsements, product placement, all of those things for our esport community. I'm going to start that. My team's listening right now going, oh no, not another thing. Yes, another thing. Thank you, Jesus. He is awesome. Let's take one more question before we go to training today, which will be in approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes. Favorite lesson from Think and Grow Rich. What a mind can conceive, man can achieve. It's an easy one. It just goes from the possibilities to the probabilities to your perspective. It's all between the 6 inches here, the 3.5 pounds right here. Got to make this muscle work for us. Not just this muscle, got to make this muscle work for us. We got to practice all the different things that it's capable of doing. And you will be amazed at how your life changes. All the greats know it through all the great deeds that you can do. Please join me today. If you haven't joined me, 949-298-2905, pin below, 949-298-2905. Join my text community. Email me for exercises, guides. I give my signed book for free. I give my exercises and guides for free. I have a training course for free. All you got to do is email me, david@dmeltzer.com. We have training on sales, pitching. I got a new private sales group. If you want to join that, email me as well. That's closing down soon. Love everybody. Remember, join me today. If you miss it, it is featured on Spotify, featured on Entrepreneur, the playbook. Join me anytime, every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Most importantly, Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. I'll see you at 11 a.m. Pacific for training on worthiness, or catch the replay on Spotify. Check it out. David@dmeltzer.com.